Hey everyone, welcome back to my workbench. I wanted to do a quick video as I'm reassembling the CDX. I got it all adjusted up. Um, Issue that I had before is the complaint about the lid mechanism not working very well, and I actually found two issues uh, actually three issues when I took this apart in the first place. The hinge screws here were loose, so one side of it was kind of wobbling. The second issue, which was more important, was this. Let me get it focused closer here. This little mechanism right here is actually used for when you open the unit. You can see how this is riding nice. There's a groove, there's a hole cut in there. It was actually sitting on the other side of this screw when I took it apart. So it was working, but it wasn't working very well. So how it's supposed to work is you press the open button and you're supposed to be able to open it up a little bit more, like a little secondary detent position. And the third issue is one I'm still trying to get a little bit better, is this open button tends to stick, and I think part of it might have been an original design issue. This is the return spring for it, and it tends to there's a screw here which holds it in place, and I'm trying to adjust it just right so it's not too much force on it. I'm not entirely happy, and the reason I'm not really happy with the design of it is where the other side of the spring sits, which is like over here. It sits down here. I don't know if it's supposed to be on the other side of the standoff or jammed underneath, because the whole spring assembly is cockeyed at like a 15-degree angle. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I might see. I do see some. It's hard to tell if it was what side it's supposed to be on. So I think what's happening is the amount of spring force isn't quite being applied correctly to the mechanism. So occasionally, if you really press it down, oh, now it's working. It's not there. It just stuck again. But it tends to stick a bit. I'm still trying to even apply a little bit of watch oil to it, just to see if I get the mechanism to slide easier. But it's still getting hung up, so I'm wondering if something to do with the angle of the spring. I don't know if the spring is supposed to be pulling it up slightly like that, or if it worked its way off there. All I can really do now is maybe take that screw off. This screw that's holding the pinning the screw in the spring in place. That's this guy here. And I'll grab a pair of needles. I'm curious if it stops working at all. See, there's your spring. Kind of an odd shaped spring. I'm just wondering how it's supposed to sit in there. Is this little lever came off of when where it's supposed to be. Let me try it flatter. So let's gonna put some preload on it. Let's try it on top here, see what happens. And if that doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I'll put it back where I found it. So now I put the spring up on top. Yeah, that might be in the right spot there. I put the spring up on top, right next to the standoff. Maybe it got moved accidentally when I took it apart, because this front panel can come off pretty easy. That might be part of the problem right there. That looks better. That looks more normal. Let's see. Oh yeah, that feels better. Still stuck. Okay, so why are you... See, that looks in the right spot now, so Do I tighten it up or do I loosen that screw slightly? Let's see. Let's go a little looser. See how that works nicely now? You got a nice click. There's a first detent and a second detent there. That's good. This is exciting, isn't it? This is going to go viral in no time. Yeah, see? Yeah, it needed to be. So, the spring was got pinched in the wrong spot because this panel here, this panel here can come off. So I guess when I was moving it around, the spring got caught in the wrong side. Because now it looks right. I'll show you here. Let's see if I get a view. See now, see where that spring is at? Right here. There's actually a nice little bend right there for to hold it in place properly. So that looks right. Okay, so door worked really consistently now. Yeah, once tighten these screws up, got the spring back in the right spot, and I have this mechanism over here. Let's see if we get a better view of it this time. This mechanism here is, this part here was actually riding along this little screw here, so it wasn't riding in the groove. So that was really getting hung up. So I gotta get this put back together now, and that'll be done. I got one Nomad pack almost done. Actually, I wanted to show that before I sealed it up. This is the first time I've ever actually done the traditional pack. So what I have to do, I got one side zinged off here already. I need to take off a couple more features here. But the actual battery pack, I couldn't go with your conventional what's these 16 what the 18650 cells. It's just too big a diameter to fit in the non-rechargeable pack. Rechargeable pack, I can do that just fine, but the non-rechargeable pack I had to go with, where did it run off to? Ran off somewhere. Ran off somewhere. Okay, I got it wired up earlier. Where's it at? No. Well, that's the problem when you're a slob. You lose stuff. Oh, it's right here. It's right next to my hand. Jeez. Oh, so close it could have bit me. Anyway, so I went with these cells here. Are actually used for drones. So this is actually a really cool circuit. This is a general purpose charging circuit, and the cool thing about it is here there's an adjustment pot right there, and you can adjust the output voltage. So it's awesome because you use any 3.7 volt cells, which these are 3.7s. Almost all lithium ions are 3.7 volt cells, and you can charge them up. You can put them in parallel like this. So we have a couple of cells here. So what's going to happen is once I get those other parts cut off there, the top cover will fit on the battery pack. It's going to sit down a little ways like this. So this is the original pack like this. So I'm probably going to have it so the charge circuit comes out the bottom or the top. I'm not sure yet. I haven't cut the plastic yet. So Clint, if you have an opinion, let me know. It will work either way. Usually I put it on the top, and this will fit. Once I'm going to have to cut these little fins off here. Not a huge deal. Cut these little fins off here and then finish zinging this off. That'll fit, and then I'll have the hole cut in the case for the micro USB. That's what's cool about this. You charge it up with this regular USB. Kind of cool actually, and you can set the voltage to whatever you want. Sometimes it takes a while to get them in. They make them in China, but they're actually really cool. And they even have a couple status LED lights on there, a red and a green. So what I usually do is I install it, and I'll have a little viewing window over here. Actually, I'll probably have to go up here. A little viewing window here, so you actually could see if the pack is fully charged or not. So I had someone else asking me about making these packs 3D printed, and the problem with doing that is the tolerances for these tabs is very, very tight. So, and this is ABS plastic. This is a very shocking, I mean, for the wall thickness, this stuff is really strong. And the problem with a lot of 3D printed, you can't get this accuracy, and these little tabs are just going to bust right off as soon as you click it on the first time. So you could do something like a company called Proto Mold will make like 100-shot molds out of aluminum molds, but the cost of it's so prohibitive. It's just like, oh, it'd be ridiculous. So unfortunately, sometimes you have to have molded plastic. 3D printing is great, but it's not that accurate, and you don't have the strength of, I mean, this wall thickness is nothing, and it's incredibly strong. Where the heck is my caliper? Oh, my caliper ran off too. I think my wife is borrowing it, actually. But this wall thickness is very thin. I mean, it's not even the 100,000th of an inch thick, and I can't even bend it with my hands. I mean, that's how strong ABS plastic is. I mean, they make motorcycle helmets out of it. I mean, that's how strong it is. So the problem with 3D printed, you just don't have the strength you get off of injection molded plastic. My last job, we did a lot of injection molded plastic and a lot of ABS, and that stuff is very strong. And 3D printing is cool, of course, but it has about a tenth the strength of ABS injection molded. So little insider industry knowledge there. But yeah, this will have a little guy inside, and then the rechargeable pack is just going to have three full. It's going to have three of these suckers in there, so it's going to be a lot of capacity. Three of them, and I have and the height's enough though I can actually mount the mount it this way. See, the height of this is too high; it'll never fit. But in the rechargeable pack, it does. So I actually have the charging port set on the back here, so you. I did that on purpose so you can't accidentally try to charge it at the same time as using it. So you can, but it's not always the best thing. So it's better to take it off, charge it, and use it. But the rechargeable pack is actually pretty amazing because it'll run the Nomad about, I think about 16 hours. I ran one once on that. So pretty cool. So I'm going to get back to work here. I'm going to get I gotta actually desolder two wires, put the CD section back in, screw it down, solder the wires back on, solder the shield back on, and get it packed. I forgot how long it took to pack one of these back together again. The Nomad is actually, other than my own wiring ad, is actually really quick to put back. This thing, this is a complicated little beast, the CDX here, so it'll be done soon enough, and I'm glad I figured out what was going on with that hinge and button, so it seems to be working really well now. I know that was an original complaint he wanted me to look at, so that should go, and I'm gonna keep working on this now and get this done tonight, and then tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'm gonna finish up the Nomad. I only have about 5 more minutes of plastic cut on this one and get everything mounted in there, and that'll be good to go. And I'm going to test out the Nomad and the CDX one last time tomorrow so I can box those up. So everyone, thanks for watching, and back to work.